genre. They're more of the rock and progressive and so on and everything else that you can call on that level. But here they are today just doing acoustic for your pleasure. So just be champion, just enjoy, and if you can sing along, go ahead, sing along. I already noticed that clapping has not been one of the favorite gifts that you have yet, but I think by the end of the show we should get better. So have fun, and I give you ADV, everybody.
The best, you could be the big calm banging on your chest. You could be the world, you could be the one. You can talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can beat the mountains, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself, you're gonna find yourself standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the brightest flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be in the world of the Hall of Fame. In the distance, you can run a mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile. You can be a hero, you can get gold. Breaking all the records that you thought you never broke. Do it for your people, do it for your pride. You'll never know if you never even tried. Do it for your country, do it for your name. There's gonna be a day when you're standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. Brightest of the brightest flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be in the walls of Hall of Fame. Be a champion. Be a champion. Be a champion. Be a champion with a Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be streakers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in a Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause we burn with the brightest flame. And the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you'll be in the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the gong banging on your chest. You could be the world, you could be the war. You can turn a cloud, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountains, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't make for love. Dedicate yourself, you're gonna find yourself standing in the Hall of Fame. That's How's everybody doing today? I'm waking up to ash and dust. Wet my brow when I spread my earth. I'm breathing in the chemicals. I'm breaking in, shaping up and checking out on the prison bus. This is it, the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up, I feel it in my bones. Enough to make my system blow. Welcome to the new age.
spread the message, but also just have fun, just get to know you guys. Because most of what we do is about relationships. And I'm talking about, not just being friends, but getting to know each other in a way that we can empower and build each other up. How many of you are happy today? Make some noise. That sounds good enough. That works well for me as well. But you know what? You have the right to be happy. So come on, go ahead and make some noise for that. That's right. Alrighty. One of the things that I do wherever we go is what we get to do is we get everybody to take part in what we're doing. And before we get the message across, we sort of just have a little bit shakedown and have a little bit of warm up before we do this. How many of you have heard of the interlude? How many of you have heard of the interlude? If you've heard of the interlude, I'm going to call you up on stage. That's going to be exciting. So some of you are like, no, don't do it. It's rocket science. It's not rocket science. It's something fun, and we just want you to get involved. It's almost a 3-minute exercise. Everybody loves exercise, right? All right, let me begin with my name. My name is Sean Matthew. I'm married to a beautiful woman right here. She's right here sitting in front. I love to say, and obviously for me, she's the most beautiful woman in the world, and I have to say that. I'm paid to do this. But even more, I love to exercise the thought of it. And but more than that, we're gonna have some fun. I would love all of you to just rise, to stand up. Can you stand up where you are? All right, I need some superstar examples as well. Ricky, can I have you on stage as well? So everybody, just loosen up a bit, please. Can you just loosen up a bit, please? No, don't get violent. There's no reason for violence. This is a school and you can enjoy this. Okay, this is what we do. All right, everybody, just loosen up. Just give yourself a little elbow room. Don't elbow somebody. Just give yourself a little elbow room. That's right. Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this? That's good. That's right. Here we go. So this is simple. What is the interlude? It's a dance that has been famous by the band Attack Attack. I don't know how many of you know this, but where we come from, we do this and we get down with it. And one of the most important things in this is you have to partake in it, and it's so much fun. And you might be like, oh, I'm from the West Coast, the Middle East. We don't do these things because it's cheesy and corny. Well, today you're going to get a little bit of cheese and corny as well. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. So this is what you do. You got 5 steps. Everybody say 5 steps. We might add 1 or 2, but that's okay. But just 5 steps. And this is what you do. Everybody we're going to warm our hands in the fire like this. Here we go. Everybody, we're going to warm our hands on fire. There's an invisible fire, and I want you to do this. Everybody, go ahead. Come on, do this. Just try that out. There you go. That's it. That's it. All right. Now, second step. Everybody, second step. I know you're excited. I know your adrenaline is going to go up, and I know you want to voice it out. Now, guys, men, usually the ladies are more louder. It's amazing how you are absolutely blowing their theory out of the water. So we got to be silent, all right, man? And this is what we do. So that's the first step. We warm our hands. And as the music changes, we go to the next step. That's like having a clap right there. So we go. All right, that's it. That's second step. All right, now, the third step is what is the main step of the whole song, which is the interlude. Okay? And this is what you need to do. Once the interlude begins, as the music changes, you just go, woo! You just have fun. That's right. Come on, everybody. Some of you are like, oh no, we don't do that here. Let's do it. Come on, let's do it. Let's do that. Here we go. All right. That's good too. All right. Now that's step 3, I think. After that, we go to the much more exciting step of rolling with the sparkles. Everybody do this. That's right. Rolling with the sparkles. You got that, you got that. You can go fast and you can collect some sparkles on the way like this. So that's what you do. It's simple. All right? After that, you have the robot ninja. Everybody go robot ninja. Come on, everybody, just go ahead. Just do that. Some of you guys, I'm older than you. I'm doing it. You go ahead. Don't worry. I'll be embarrassed for all of us. Here we go. All right. Now, this is the next step. Pay attention. Everybody say, shh. So here we go. Now, pay attention. This is the second last step, and this is going to be amazing. After the robot ninja, I love the echo in the room. After the robot ninja, we go to fist pump on the ground. And some of you are like, there's no space, but don't worry, find some space and go to the ground and just fist pump. And what you have to do is, you just have to come up slow, slow, and then it's the revenge of the interlude all over again. And everybody go crazy. All right. Is that easy steps? All right. Guys, are you okay with that? I'm going to have friends today, for sure. Because you guys are going to blow me out of the water with your dance moves. And some of you are like, we've never danced before. Today, you're going to be superstars doing this dance. All right, PC guy, hit that music. Here we go. Come on, turn up the volume up there. Come on, everybody. Get moving. You can get your own action in. Ladies. Ready to clap? Here we go. Come on. Come on, guys. Put your hands together. Go crazy. Hold on. That didn't go well. Is that okay? Is it okay? Oh, we're gonna do this. Everybody, go back to warming the fire. Here we go. Oh no. All right, we can do this. Give me the phone. That's okay. Give me the phone. Give me the phone. Here we go. Here we go. Give me a minute. We're just facing technical difficulties. Hold on. Don't move away yet. Don't move away yet. I'm from a background that dictates which tribe we come from. You know, your culture, your place of origin, and most of us are third culture, students and children and people. I myself was raised up here in the UAE, and it's a wonderful privilege because for me, more than India, this is the place where I believe is my home. In fact, I feel like a stranger when I go abroad and spend time in India or any other place. I was in Australia for 5 years, a couple of years in Canada as well, and honestly, I still believe that this is home for me. And for a lot of you, you've come with different mindsets, but that's okay. Guys, I know you love to just dribble-drabble, and so you know what dribble-drabble is? Dribbling, but drabbling while talking. So you've got to let me finish, and then you can have a say. You can come on the microphone and do your thing. Is that okay? All right, but I won't keep my promise. And we're in this place in time where we need to understand that everything that happens around us coincides with how we have been formed, how we have been maturing. Honestly speaking, I want to give you a few pointers. I have a video that I want to share as well, but I don't know if the speakers are going to work for it. We're just going to have to trust the technology, which can surely fail us as well. There we go. It was technology which can surely fail us as well. And one of the things that we need to understand is there's always concepts and perceptions and perspective that is always flowing into you every single time, because whatever and wherever you are with whoever you are, it influences you, it changes your mind, it sort of takes you to the place where you think you're going. And I want to give you a perspective about identity. Everybody say identity. Okay, I got a few minutes, so I'm not going to bore you to death, I promise. But this is something. This is something. Thank you so much. This is something for you to think about as well. I want to say something, and I want to quote a few people that's been amazing in how they talk about identity as well. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Can I say that again? To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. You know, people talk about peer pressure for you guys, especially for those of you who are in schools, because you got to maintain your image. You got to maintain, a sort of a life standard, which doesn't really match with who you are. Because most of the time, your friends usually bring the influence, and you fall in place in line with those influence. I want you to hear something amazing as well. The most important kind of freedom is to be what you really are and what you were really created for. You trade in your reality for a role. You trade in your sense for an act. You give up your ability to feel, and in exchange you put on a mask. There can't be any large-scale revolution until there is a personal revolution. A lot of us, we dream of doing or starting a fire, doing something that can change the world. We all dream of being famous, rich. I'm honestly saying, I remember we did a crazy survey back in 2007 with a couple of schools in Ajman and Sharjah, and we were asking about dreams, and this is what they were saying. They would even dream while going to the bathroom about being something that they're not. And it's okay to dream. It's good to dream, because we need more dreamers. We need more visionaries, because most of us, we've just put on a mask and we're trying to live everyday life as it is. But you know what? There comes a point when you need to be the difference. In order for you to be the difference, you got to have a revolution happening within you. A lot of people tend to think that by putting on a mask, by being somebody else, you're going where you're going. I was a teenager once, and not long time ago, but long time ago. And I still remember those days when I would try to adapt into being like you guys, because I wanted to be the first one to talk and be the coolest guys, because I wanted my voice to be heard. Because if my voice was not heard, I'm not the coolest guy in the group. And in order to be cool and in order to be something that I wasn't, I started adapting into these things where I would eventually turn myself into a bully. Because without being a bully, I ain't cool. Because you see, the new standard is being a bully is the best thing to being cool. But being bully is a coward. And that's what I realized, because when my friends, who I thought were my friends, were not eventually there for me in my failures. Just because you got one experience and they say, homie, I'm with you, or hey, listen, I'm with you, that doesn't change anything. Are they with you until the end is the question. Are they with you when everybody else turns against you? Are they with you when everything is going bad for you? And then you begin to test your friends, and then you begin to see who your friends are. And then you come to a place and point, and you go like, man, I never imagined that these people would do this to me. But the only reason why you never imagined that it would happen to you is because you were never yourself. And no one had a chance to know the real you. And one of the most important things that we develop in all our programs and all that we do is we tell people how much they are valuable and how much they are valued and how much they are so wonderfully made, beautifully created for a purpose and for a vision. And when people hear that, we go like, that is soft talk. We don't want to hear those things. We want to hear things like, we're warriors. Hey, you are warriors, The greatest strength that you could pull out from within you is you being yourself. And the greatest weakness that one person can have is the lack of how you're going to identify yourself. Today, are you who you are according to what someone has made you? According to how someone has influenced you? Or are you who you are because it is you? And you might think, yeah, it is me. It's all me. It's all me right here. There's nothing that I have to change. I'm okay. And I'm confident. But that's not really the case. You know, I believe there's cultures around the world that has paved the way to influence us. And I think through media and other sources, we've been influenced a lot. If you look at our origin traditions, we were more conservative than most of the cultures around the world. I don't know where you're from, but if you're from the Middle East, we know how it is. If you're from parts of Asia, I know how it is from the Indian culture. I speak for the Indian culture, and we're a very conservative group. You know, we don't do all these things as we normally would, and it's very closed in, but eventually, one of the most beautiful things about being a third culture kid, being born in the UAE or being raised up in the UAE is that you get to meet so many nationals, and you get to see part of their world, and you get to involve yourself together with this, and you become, in the end, something that you never imagined you would be. Some of you, when you must have walked into the school, you must have been terrified on how you were going to be and address yourself. You would have been like, oh my goodness, am I going to make friends? Am I going to be famous? For the men, you know, for the guys. The guys usually want to be the best, soccer player, football player, or whatever sport it is. And we all want to be champions. We all want everybody to look at us. I'm talking from the men's perspective. And I know this urge for us to sell our identity to be something that we're not. And guys, let me tell you something. I've been the road down there. I've traveled a long way. You can ask the people who are with me. Man, to experience life was awesome. Been around the world, have done beautiful projects with beautiful people like you guys. And it's been an awesome journey. But one thing that I regret is my school life, because I was somebody who I wasn't supposed to be. And I put on a mask because I wanted to be the cool one out. I wanted to make my voice stand out. I wanted to be the person who was constantly trying to be something that I wasn't. And I missed out the most intelligent part of me, the most amazing side of me. I missed being the most kindest person in the school. I missed being the most generous person in the school. I missed being good. Can I ask you something? With all the things and the dramas that is going around the world needs more good. How many of you agree with me? Say, that's right. That's right. Come on. I'm telling you, guys, listen up. Guys, there is no more time for violence. There is no more time for violence. Violence has ruined half of the world. We need leaders to rise from within the schools. Like here, I don't see anybody who has issues. I see potential future leaders and future world changers. You agree? You can lift your hands up. I agree. That's true. You better. And you got to start believing in yourself. You got to start understanding that you have a purpose. You have an amazing plan that is going to be unfolded. But you have to understand that you got to have an identity. Let me just tell you within a few minutes how identity is important. It'll be clear to you. How many of you know what an ID is? You can have a UA ID card. That's a good example. Imagine now the card is going to be a reason. I already heard from the government that this card can be used as a debit card, which is the coolest thing. It's like our ID card, which has all my license and my passport and my visa and everything, and it's like the coolest thing. And it's an important ID because the ID makes me legal in this country. The ID gives me an identity in this nation. But it also allows me to enter places where I normally can't enter without an ID. And the ID is important. For those of you who are working in the office, I don't know, the staff here, if they would have an ID which allows them to use the photocopy machine or the fax machine or the telephone by, just like zip, and oh, this is the person, this is the ID, and they start using it. And imagine how important an ID is. And if an ID is so important in our hands, in our wallets, in our purses for you ladies, how much more important is an identity for ourselves? Because an identity for yourselves will help you to reach places which you can never imagine or ever imagine that you would reach. But today, let me tell you something. We're talking about something that you need to break out of. You need to break out of the norm. You need to break out of the ordinary. You need to break out of the peer grouping. You know why? Because a lot of groups tend to flock into being who not that person is, but who the group is. There's a lot of identities that's floating around. I want to give you some ideas, though. There's something that we call the identity formation. And you know what an identity formation is? Your identity begins to develop as you are a baby. As you begin to grow up, you get so close to your teddy bear. And guys, this goes for you too. All right, soft toys. You too were once a baby, and you loved your soft toys. Okay, and imagine we have these things that we get so hooked onto. But let me tell you something. You were not called to be in the norm. You were not called to just come, just be, and then just disappear and cease to exist. You were called to make a difference. You were called to be a point of difference. You were called to be great leaders, great visionaries, great inventors. You were called to be some of the great poets, the great artists. You were called to do great things. And that is the identity within you. It's in the DNA of human beings. Because if you look through history, human beings have conquered the world. Do you believe that? And for some reason, you got to understand that you are part of this grand plan to do something amazing, to do something cool. You got an artist who's coming out with great music, but it all begins small. It all begins with hard work. It just doesn't happen. I know most of you would hate Justin Bieber, and some of you would really love Justin Bieber. But if you knew where Justin Bieber came from as a little child, he was playing on the street corners where his mom would keep an eye on him, and that's how eventually he got a record label. And that's what's going to happen with most of us. We need to work hard. We were not born with a silver spoon in our mouths. You might have come from families that are wealthy or rich, but let me tell you something. Deep down inside, we all need to achieve something that we set a goal for. And today, you can have a goal in your life. You can have a dream in your life. You can have a vision in your life that you want to achieve and that you want to reach. But it begins with hard work. It begins with you identifying with your strength and with your weakness. You purging yourself of the influence that usually comes from the external. And most of the influence that your friends bring are not always positive. It's mostly negative. But if you learn to focus, if you learn to be disciplined, you begin to find the inner you. You begin to grow out of the shell that you've been in for so long because of some circumstances and situation. I remember, I don't know how many of you know this, but I had a big sister, and a real tragic incident happened, and she was taken away from us, and she passed away. I don't know how many of you know my story, but most of you wouldn't, so let me explain it. In '98, my sister went missing as she was studying in India to be a physiotherapist. She had scholarship to go to the US, but she chose to go study in India in a place called Chennai. And my sister was one day after college, came out of college, and she was waiting for transport, and she was abducted by some guys, and they tried to harm her, and she fought back, and they got frustrated, and they killed her. And they threw her body somewhere in the middle of the highway, which you wouldn't know about. And losing a brother or a sister is one of the hardest things that you can go through. Especially she was my best friend. And most of you don't understand, but that sort of paved the way for me to understand it's time to stop wearing a mask. That was initially the push for me. When I started to think for myself, when I started to, just begin to digest what I was doing with my life, even though I was going to school back in and out, and I was just wondering, this is not going to work. I cannot be the same person this way. And I thought that My sister was going to achieve so much, and she wanted to be a doctor, and she wanted to be traveling the world. One of the things that me and my sister wanted to do together was travel the world and help poor people. Yeah, that's okay, that dream is okay. It's a really nice dream. And we wanted to change the world together. But that was a nightmare with what happened. That was 98. But from there, honestly, I thank God for the mercy that He had in my life, because I went from there being broke into a place where I was a rebel, and I hated people, and I hated families, and every time I saw brothers and sisters, it disgusted me, and I thought the world was so unfair, the world was cruel, and I started hating, I started being such a closed in, I created a huge shell for me, and I became this, wannabe emo-like person. I was dark, literally. I would wear dark clothes. Even my blue was black. And I would just walk into schools, and I had this new attitude on until I met a mentor, somebody who changed my life. And he taught me how to rise from the ashes. And he taught me, bro, you got to live your life out loud. You can do amazing things. You had a dream before, and you're giving it up because something was robbed from you. Listen, things in life happen, and life ain't fair. But you know what's the good thing about life? As much as you can fall down, there's always an opportunity for you to rise. You believe that? You believe that? And a lot of you here, honestly, I can't even seem to imagine. I've been walking in circles. I have helped more than 5,000 youths over the 10-year period of what I was doing, counseling youth, talking to youth, empowering them. I was with them. I have seen brokenness. I've seen people, or just like you guys, who'd be like, oh yeah, and you would come into the room. You'd be the biggest noise, but there's the smallest voice inside of you, and you're breaking inside. And for breaking inside, you're trying to make it up by being a bully, by being somebody who you're not, and you're trying to look big and all that, but you're not. You're a good person. You're a beautiful person. And there's something within you that shines a beautiful light. And that's where you guys can begin to make the difference. You see, a lot of us can come, speak, and walk away, and you can go back to your classroom and say, that guy was funny. No, like, really not funny, that kind of funny. You want to hear a joke about identity? My mom said, as you grow up, you can be anybody that you want to be. Later on in life, the cops told me that's called identity theft. So, okay, fine. All right. I know you love that. I know you were waiting for that. Here we go. Oh, how about this? So a nun was walking down the road, and this drunk guy was walking down the road as well. He sees the nun, the sisters who work in the covenant. He sees the nun, and he goes and knocks her over, and he looks at her and says, "You're not so tough now, Batman." That is a little more funny. All right. If I offended anybody, please, I'm sorry. I just thought that we needed to break the ice. But listen, let me ask you something. I don't know about you, and don't be shy to answer this, but don't you want to make a difference? Yes. Come on. You guys are awesome. Don't you want to make a difference, guys? Yes. I'm telling you, it is in your DNA to be great. I know this. I believe this. That's why I do this. You can ask my friends. I do it full time. I do it full time to get and reach out to people like you so you can be great. That's my job, to make you great. That's my job. I'm accountable to make sure you reach your full potential. And closing off in this few minutes, I want to share this with you. I want to share this thing, and this is important. I remember this illustration, and I need to share this with you. I shared this with some of my friends previously on Saturday, and I was saying one of the most amazing things about sports is that there's a lot of motivation in sports, whatever it may be. And at the professional level, it's a huge deal. There's big money, there's big fame, and blah, blah, blah. But more than that, there's hard work. Everybody say hard work. Hard work. That's good. You need to work hard, guys. You need to study hard. I was messing around till 10th grade, and you know what's the worst that could happen? You be the most popular guy in school, and then all of a sudden you fail and you flunk, and then you have no friends because now your juniors have become seniors along with you, and you're like, oh gosh, this is the worst thing that could happen. And I was like the guy for being with the guys, and everybody was like, oh Sean, what happened to you, man? Not this way. And I still remember going home. My dad didn't even raise his voice. It was just, he had tears in his eyes. And he said, did you work hard to do this? And I said, no, Dad, I fooled around and I messed up. And he said, well, I ain't going to say anything because it breaks our heart that we pay the tuition and fees and when we got you here till this place, and it breaks our heart that this happened to you. And then I remembered my dad. And I went back and I decided, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this right. And I remember working hard. Came out with A's and finished my O-level and A-level. I was so excited. I got scholarship to college and I finished my psychology in New South Wales University. It was exciting. And I wanted to do something else as well. And I kept studying and studying. It's so exciting when you can work hard because no labor is in vain. You believe that? No labor is in vain. You are going to bear fruit for sure. If you really toil and work hard, you can do it. So here's the story of a team that's being prepared to play the finals for basketball, college basketball. And a coach hasn't come in, and the coach is still waiting to come in, and the players have worked so long for 3 months. You know, it's just like everybody who wants to be recruited for something, and then everybody's so excited and the hype is there. I'm going to close with this. And imagine all of them getting so pumped up, and they come to the front line and say, I want to be part of this team. I want to make a difference. I want to win the championship. And they begin to train, and the training is rigorous and it's crazy and it's hectic and it pushes them. There were like 50 who began and only 18 remained. 1-8. And imagine these guys who are almost at the point of giving up. Like, why do we have to work this? Why do we have to sacrifice so much to be here? This is not why we're here. We already have the gift, man. We already have the skill. But the coach would be so hard on them. And then finally there were only 15. And it was the last day before training finished. And the coach walked in finally after 3 months. And he showed his face and they were like, here he is. He just gives his task and he just goes his way. But this was a different kind of coach. And he walked in and he paced up and down. And he looked at these players. And these players were so exhausted. They were so tired. And they were so ready to give up. Because they were like, this is not what we signed up for. Because they were looking at the fame, they were looking at the glory, they were looking at the richness, they were looking at everything else before they could accomplish the goal of winning the finals. And then they had to work hard, like crazy, in and out, early morning, 5 o'clock, all the way up to 3 in the morning, like training. And guess what? The coach walks in and he looks at everybody and he says, the first thing, this is what he said, I did not just come in and cast a net at you. I did not just come in and just picked up a lottery. I came and I picked the best. They were like, well, we didn't even see you for 3 months. How do you know? And he said, because only the best will work so hard until now. And you know what? No, it's not over yet. It's not over. You can clap at the end of the day. You missed out, buddy. And you know what? What happened is he keeps talking to them, telling them no matter what you have faced, no matter how much training you've gone through, one thing you fail to realize that now you're ready to play the finals. Now you're ready to take the team on. And now I believe if you get on the court, you're going to win this game. And guess what, guys? One of the guys stood up and said, Coach, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. And he gets up and he pumps up the whole team. The whole team looks at him and goes like, oh yeah, we can do this. We came this far. And all of a sudden they changed the perspective, because until then it was about themselves and it was how they felt and how they were influenced. It was about this mask that they created for themselves. And look at this. This is the best part. Now they're not tired anymore. Now, from being fatigued and weary and broken, they're strong and they're standing strong and going like, we can do this. And guess what? They go out and they win the championship. Michael Jordan was born that day. Michael Jordan was born that day, and everybody knows Michael Jordan. If you don't, go look into the histories of NBA. You'll find one of the best players in the world, my favorite all-time player. He's the richest man in the world. He's reached milestones after milestones. He is an amazing, amazing basketballer. But let me tell you something, it did not just come to him easy. He said once, I had to lay down my mask. I had to lay down the identity cards that I've kept in my life, and I had to move to a place where I had to find my inner strength, find the God-given wisdom and talent and skill in my life, and push forward. And guess what? He achieved his goal. He worked hard for it, and he became a legend. And you know what? He doesn't have as much as qualifications as some of us here. In fact, he was really weak in his studies, yet he pursued it, yet he worked hard, and he was a gentleman in school. He wasn't a bully. He would actually stop the bullies from bullying young kids, and he was a guy who would mind his own business, but yet even he said, I wanted to be somebody else, and that stopped me from being who I was called to be. And let me tell you something, don't let anyone define your purpose. Don't let anyone define who you're going to be or what you're going to achieve. You got to reach within you and you got to pull it out. You got to be who you are and you got to use that to your best of your ability, and you got to be transformed and renewed to do the best you can to change the world. Nobody believes me when I say I get to change the world every day. Do you know why? Because I said, I'm not famous, I'm not on TV, nobody knows me, but it's okay. As long as I can speak to a generation that's going to impact tomorrow, I'm a solid winner. Because I get to speak to you. I get to speak to you who are champions. I get to speak to you who are valuable. I get to speak to you who are amazing, who are unique, who are peculiar. I get to speak to you because you're chosen to do amazing things. I get to speak to you because you are the leaders of tomorrow. But you got to believe it. You got to remove the mask that you already have on because of everything around you. Yes, you would have gone through a tough break. Yes, you would have suffered. Yes, something bad would have happened. Yes, that would have changed it. Yes, you came into relationships that was not meant to be. Yes, all that happened, but let me tell you something. Nobody helps you to breathe. In fact, it is you who breathe on your own. Nobody can think for you inside out. Only you can. Use it to the best of your ability. I know that I'm looking at the future right here. I know that even though some of you are fooling around and joking around, I know you're some of the most amazing guys. And I can respect you from now. Because I know one day, after 20 or 30 years, I'm going to look at you and you could be amazing. You believe that? You believe that? Yeah. Then if that is the creed, you need to give your best. Everybody do this with me. Let's remove our mask. Come on, let's remove our mask. The mask that we've been putting on. You know, you got to remove every pretentious behavior that you have collected from one another, and you got to be who you are. Hold on. Hold on. I want you to have a look at this video. I want you to have a look at this video. I don't know if the sound can be played, but we're going to do it to the best of our ability. Is that okay if I play a video 2 minutes? Guys, just watch this video. Let's see if you can play this. Well, at least the interlude is a flop again, but that's okay. Let's see if you have video. I wanted to ask you something. How many of you have big dreams here? Can I ask you, how many of you have big dreams here? Just a few big dreams. How many of you have big dreams? Guys, you gotta dream big. We always use this to have more campaigns in schools all over the world. And LifeJam is something that you can check out, and it's crazy and it's wild and it's amazing. We have impacted and we have helped a lot of young people, a lot of students, whether it's in college and schools. So I want to give away a wristband if that's okay. Just give it away for free. Is that okay? Guys, is there anybody who would love a wristband? Can I give this to you? Here we go. Well, I'm not good at baseball or cricket. Let's try this again. Here we go. Oh, that's a really sticky one. Here we go, guys. Ladies, this is you. Here we go. And one more. Here we go. And that's it. Good catch. And if you want to get this, what's that? All right. And we want to hand out momentum from our side to the event coordinator. Nissa, are you here? Miss Farah, are you here? Are you here? Thank you so much. Come on, put your hands together. And we'll wrap it up. And guys, if you have any questions, please feel to come and ask. But even more, listen, you have got amazing teachers. And I want you to hear this, guys. Guys, listen. I want you to hear this last thing before I go. You need to look up to your teachers. You need to trust your teachers, because your teachers are a blessing to you. Not only do they share wisdom, but they're also human beings who have had experience, and they can be beneficial to you. Go to your teachers if you have a problem. If you have a student counselor, go to them as well. Never be afraid to get help. Never be afraid to get help. And don't forget, you got the merchandise right here, wristbands, the signboard and everything that's being sold here with this creepy guy in this corner. So go there, no problems, he's safe. God bless you and thank you so much. Signing off.